Hello and welcome. Today we are going to dive into something that so many English learners feel deep down, that little bit of hesitation right before you have to speak. Our goal here is to help you turn that feeling of anxiety into a real sense of readiness so you can connect with people confidently.
Does this sound familiar? You can watch movies, you can read articles, you can follow along with a conversation pretty much perfectly. But then the phone rings, or you get pulled into a meeting, and all of a sudden, that perfect understanding feels like it's a million miles away. If that's you, you're not alone. This is a super common hurdle to get over.
This is what we call the speaking confidence gap. On one side, you've got your passive understanding. That's things like listening and reading. It's comfortable, right? But on the other side, there's active speaking. We're talking phone calls, meetings, and actually sharing your own ideas. That's where the pressure really hits and where confidence can start to disappear. So today, we're going to build a bridge right across that gap.
So where do we even begin? Well, it's probably not where you think. We're not starting with grammar rules or vocabulary lists. It all starts with your mindset. Before you say a single word, the real work actually happens inside your head. You have to think of confidence not as something you get after you're perfect, but as the foundation you have to build first.
Let this sink in. This should become your new mantra. Seriously, the goal isn't to be flawless. That's impossible. The goal is just to be brave. It's about finding the courage to share your idea, even if the words don't come out absolutely perfectly.
And this idea builds right on top of that. See, when you aim for perfection, you often just end up feeling like you're failing. But if you shift your goal to just making progress, learning one new phrase, having one slightly better conversation, you start to create a cycle of success. It's all about building momentum, one little win at a time.
Okay, so we've got our mindset straight. Now let's turn that way of thinking into real action. It's time to get you equipped with some practical tools for those moments that can really cause some anxiety. We're talking about real phrases you can use in real life.
We're going to focus on three key areas. First, making a really strong first impression with your introductions. Second, learning how to manage the chaos of a phone call. And third, feeling confident enough to actually participate in online meetings. Think of these as your first training grounds for building that confidence.
All right, let's start with introductions. The key here is to take control right from the start. So instead of sitting there nervously waiting for your turn, you can lead with a simple, confident phrase like, "I'd like to briefly introduce myself." It immediately signals confidence and, just as importantly, it carves out a little space for you to gather your thoughts.
Phone calls can feel so intense, right? Because there are no visual cues to help you out. But look at how these phrases help you control the pace of the conversation. Whether you're asking someone to hold on for a second or offering to check that for you, you're the one who is managing the flow, not just reacting to whatever comes at you. Now, for online meetings, finding the right moment to speak can be the biggest challenge. These phrases are basically your tools to create that moment for yourself and to do it politely. "Can I add something here?" is a great one. You're actively participating instead of just passively sitting on the sidelines.
Okay, this next part is maybe one of the most important skills of all. What do you do when you're totally lost, when you just don't understand what's going on? Well, you use your conversational safety net. This is all about empowering you to handle confusion with total grace. Let's be really clear about this. Asking for clarification is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's a sign of a great communicator. It shows that you're engaged, that you care about understanding things correctly, and that you're taking responsibility for your side of the conversation. It's a strength, not a weakness. And here are the tools to do it. On the left, you've got simple ways to ask for repetition when you just missed something, like, "Sorry, I didn't catch that." Easy. On the right, you have phrases to confirm that you actually understood the meaning, like, "So, what you're saying is," this isn't about what you missed, it's about making sure you got it right. Both are incredibly powerful tools to have. So, we've covered the mindset, we've covered the practical phrases, now let's bring it all together and map out what the path forward looks like. Because this isn't about some one-time magic trick, it's about building a sustainable habit that's going to lead to real, lasting confidence.
I want you to think of it this way. Every single time you practice a phrase out loud, you're doing more than just memorizing it. You're actually training your mouth muscles just like an athlete trains their body for a sport. With every single repetition, you're turning that conscious, difficult effort into a natural, automatic skill. And that brings us right to the end. The journey from just understanding to truly speaking with confidence is built one sentence at a time. So, my question for you is this. Looking back at everything we've covered, what is the one sentence you're going to choose to practice today? Go on, pick one. Your progress starts right now.